All right, men, we are going to do a pork shoulder, a roasted pork shoulder, and we're going to attempt to get some crackling on the skin at the end. So it's going to be roasted pork shoulder with crackling. Now I've got 2 kilos of pork shoulder. We're going to need 2 onions, a bulb of garlic. We are also going to need about 3 tablespoons of salt. We're going to do about 2 tablespoons of pepper, 2 tablespoons of fennel. We're also going to do 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Plus, we are going to also do about 2 cups of white wine. Okay, we're going to create a rub to rub all over the skin. But before we do that, we've got our pork shoulder. Get yourself some paper towel. We're going to pat. We need to make sure we pat the skin dry quite well. And then we're going to sit it in the fridge. Some people say you should do it overnight, but I've just done this for a couple of hours in the fridge and it's turned out all right. So first things first, we're going to pat the skin dry and we're going to put it in the fridge for a few hours. And then that's when we're going to add the rub in after the skin's been dried. So I'll see you soon. All right, guys, just a quick other tip. Obviously, now that I've patted dry the skin, it's going to go in the fridge for a few hours at least. Don't cover it up. Leave it open, dry, just like this. Okay, in the fridge, don't cover it up. It's going to dry that skin out even more. All right, we'll check in soon. All right, guys, so the pork's out of the fridge. It's been in there for about 4 hours. The skin's nice and dry. We're going to chuck the oven up really high, like 220 degrees. Now, sometimes your pork shoulder, this is boneless pork shoulder, it might already come with scores in the skin or little cuts, which is great. You can always add extra little cuts because we're going to put the rub in, right? Now, I've put the rub all into one bowl or container. We've got the fennel, the salt, pepper, a little bit of olive oil. Now, you're probably going to have to add more olive oil, okay? Like, you're just going to add it as you go. It says, like, in the recipe I follow, it says like a tablespoon and a half, but it's just not enough. If you hear a little baby, my baby girl's down here just watching. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put the rub, okay, all over the pork, and then we're going to sit it in our tray with the 2 onions chopped in half, and the garlic is spread across. I wish I had more garlic. Is spread across in between the onions because the pork's going to sit on top of that. Okay, the meaty side down with the skin up, and then the wine's going to sit underneath there. But before we do that, let's rub the skin and the meat. We want to rub the meat underneath, and then we're going to rub the skin. So let's get into it. I've put all the rub, or about half of the rub, onto the meaty side. Now I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to rub the skin side, okay? Before I do that, we're going to put our 2 cups of white wine into the tray. Now what we want to make sure we do is try not to let the skin be wet from the wine. It's all right if the meat is, but we just don't want the skin to be too wet. So that's why the onions, you might even use another onion just to prop it up, okay? So let's rub the rest of the rub on to the skin. All right, we're going to put it in the oven, Okay, it's on 220. We're going to bring it down a little bit though, down to about 180, and we're going to leave it for 2 hours. And then that last half hour, we're going to check on it. And if you want to get that crispy pork skin, the crackling, we're going to blast it for that last half hour or 20 minutes. But it's good to go. Now, this is going to be a great fatty, high protein meal. If you guys want more of these recipes, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you want any help with your nutrition, you can book in a call with me. Your training, your nutrition, book a free call with me. There's a link in my description here in the video. You can book a free call. Plus, I have my free fat loss blueprint, which has a diet plan and exercise program in it. You can download that for free. There's also a link to do a free fat loss challenge. I run free fat loss challenges for men. And yeah, you can download that and get that started as soon as you want. The link is in my bio for all those things, or in the description, sorry. And yeah, let's chuck this in the oven and we'll come back in 2 hours and we're going to check it out. All right, guys, so I've just taken it out. I've probably got about an hour to go. What I want to do now is just double check that there's enough salt on the skin. If you haven't salted it properly, then the areas of skin that don't have the salt on them will be too leathery and they won't go crispy and crackling. So we're checking it, okay? We're going to add a bit of just extra salt around on the skin now. And another thing you want to just make sure is there's plenty of fluid still in the bottom of the pan. There's plenty here. I had 2 cups of wine, as you remember, and there's still plenty of fluid there, so that's going to be fine. Okay. Sweet. We're going to put it back in for another half hour. Then the last half hour, we're going to blast it and get that skin crispy. All right, looking good. All right, guys. 20 minutes to go. It's looking pretty good. Let's blast it. Putting it on high now, back up to 220 degrees, and we're going to get that skin crispy. Let's go. All right, guys, so it's come out of the oven. Just a quick, we had to put it under the grill for about 5 minutes just to crisp that last bit of fat or skin. And we didn't get all the skin, so this is half a success. You can see it looks nice and crispy up here, and then down here it's not so crispy. That's just the way it is sometimes. But anyway, we'll let it rest for about, 10 minutes, and then we are going to cut it open and see what it looks like. All right, we'll check in soon. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Looks like it's cooked, which is good. There we go. All right, the pork shoulder is done. Crackling could have been a little bit better. We've got a bunch of it right here. So pretty much nearly successful, but this is still going to be delicious. So enjoy the pork.